Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Last week we started a new series entitled a series on action, because that ultimately is the essence of life. Life boils down to action. We put a question last time. What exactly is the nature of life? What are the contents, ultimate contents of life that determines the nature and characteristic of our existence? So if you observe just one day of your life, you will see that life ultimately boils down to actions, the three types of actions. Kaya, Vachi, Mano. That is bodily action, verbal and mental action. So on that we started the whole series. That is a series on action being the essence of life. So today we will continue with this series by quoting a sutta from the Anguttara Nikaya, where Buddha very clearly mentions what exactly is meant by action. So now, here is a translation of the sutta. I will read the sutta a little bit, which I am sure many of you will understand. Here, Buddha says, Chattari mani bhikkhave kammani maya avinya satchikatva paveditani. Now, monks, there are these four kinds of actions of kamma, which I, having personally experienced and realized their true nature through direct knowledge, that is higher spiritual knowledge, that I have declared. And what are these four? There is the dark kamma, kanha kamma, the dark action with dark results. And there is the bright action or kamma with bright results. Sukha, kamma, sukha, vipaka. Bright action, bright results. Kanha, kammang, kanha, vipaka. Dark action with dark results. Then there is also a mixed. There is the kamma, there is both, that is dark and bright with dark and bright results. There is a mixture of both dark and bright kammas with dark and bright results. Then there is the kamma or action which is neither, there is the kamma that is neither dark nor bright, with neither dark nor bright action results, and which leads to the destruction of kamma itself. So now we have these four distinctly different type of kammas or actions. One is called the dark, or the kanha, Krishna karma, Shukla karma. The dark, that is to say the evil, unwholesome action producing painful and unwholesome results in a particular dimension of existence. It may be here and now, or it may be hereafter. So there are the four types of actions, therefore, producing four types of results. Where do they produce the results? Obviously in a certain plane of existence. It may be here in this very existence, or it may be in the next life in a different world. So the actions, the four type of actions that the Buddha mentions here, these are, they are ultimately, actions are, ultimately they boil down to bodily, verbal and mental actions. And they are performed here and now in this world, and their results are also therefore experienced in this very world, or in the next world, or in some other plane of existence. So these actions are kanha, Krishna, or dark. Not because somebody has said so, somebody has determined it so, but because of the very nature of the action. An action is dark or evil because it is rooted in evil motivations, evil roots. Now the word root is very much connected with the plant life, you see, trees and so on. So all forms of life, whether it's a plant life, or human life, animal life, or even the higher, there are certain resemblances. They have got same type of characteristics. So an action is evil or bad because it is rooted in evil motivations. Just as a tree, now the analogy of tree, for instance, last time we mentioned that, the tree stands firm on the ground and is able to face any danger, let us say fierce wind or a hurricane. The tree remains firm because of the root. The higher the tree goes up, the deeper the root it suits. So now the root system, the deeper it goes, the higher the tree also goes up. So there is a relationship between the trees, you see, above surface, above the earth, above the ground and below the ground. So these roots, as deeper they go, the higher the tree goes. So now it's only an analogy, it's an illustration. So now, if these motivations that force a person to commit a certain dark karma or evil action, or motivations that, you see, makes a person to perform a good action, a bright action with bright result. And then a combination of both or neither. These are the four types. So now it is the root, the motivation that determines a karma action to be either good or bad, evil. So it is not by any other external agency, some God, supernatural being, some guru, some religion, or some system which human beings have created, some rules and laws and all that sort of thing, whether it's a religious rule or conduct or secular rule of conduct. None of these determine the nature of action. The sum and substance of the fact is this. So now it is the unwholesome nature of the root, of the motivation. What are those roots that make a karma evil or good? Now, any action which is motivated by greed, by desire, by craving, by wanting, by longing, that is an evil and dark action. any action which is motivated by hatred. You see, hate, jealousy, and such factors, or enmity, or prejudice. These are the factors that make a karma or an action evil or dark. And the opposite of it, any action which is motivated by love, by goodwill, by loving kindness, metta, or by compassion, wishing the happiness of others, wishing that the others be free from suffering. Now these are the motivations that make a karma bright and good, and a combination or neither. Now in the sutta it is said bright and dark. Now these results, the karma actions bear the results obviously in a plane of existence. Either it's human plane, or the animal plane, or the ghost and the such planes, spiritas, or in the the world of the demoniac beings, asura loka, or the hellish world where unmitigated suffering, a being undergoes unmitigated suffering. That is the darkest plane of existence. So now a person, for instance, commits a karma motivated by tremendous hate. Say, the person takes up terrorism as a career, or whatever motivation he may have, religious or secular, and puts on, loads himself or herself with all kinds of explosives, and goes and destroys a whole, a whole building where you may have 500 people, 300 people. So all these people are destroyed by this hate factor of this particular individual who is motivated by, hate, to destroy, to terrorize the people, to destroy the, life of people and the properties of people. Now this kind of action is not only dark, and evil, but they lead to a world, they produce result. Here and now the person who has done it, he loses his the opportunity of leading a noble life in the human plane. But no, he has destroyed himself, and now he is reborn in hell, in the hellish world, where is unmitigated suffering, where, let us say, fire. He is born in a plane where is nothing but fire of very great intensity and temperature, maybe hundreds and thousands of Celsius. That heat, that being is born there and undergoes suffering. So karma is direct, or action is directly related with our destiny. So there are 4 types of actions which, inflict, or rather a being is afflicted by these 4 types of actions, or unafflicted. These actions, rule their lives here and now, and then throw them in a world where the result will be commensurate to the action. So there are 4 types of worlds also, in other words. If you have 4 types of actions, and their results of the actions are similar, then you will have to, naturally you have states of existence which are correlative, which are also 4 kinds. So there are planes of existence of immense suffering, dark, miserable, filled with suffering. That is known as the apaya loka. The 4 types of apayas, where a person only undergoes suffering. Paying, you see, the results of karma, they pay a price for their karma by way of undergoing suffering. And there is no mitigation, no question of mitigation of that. Nobody can make it less or more. They have to undergo that in those planes of existence. Imagine the life of a dog. However, now there are, you see, these fancy people, you see, having lots of money, lots of power and their high position and whatnot. So they have these dogs. And the dogs are given fancy names. And given such wonderful, say, food which human beings cannot afford. So very luxuriously they are brought up along with their masters. Now these dogs, though so-called enjoying so-called luxury of human plane, but what about their lives? What about the mind? What kind of existence they have? You see, the President of the United States has a dog, and that fellow is famous. He has all kinds of luxuries, but has he any control over his mind? Has he any control over his whatever he wants to do or think or say? No. He is an instinctive being. This dog is motivated entirely by instinct, not by, you see, as human beings, for instance, they are motivated by not instinct. They can be with instinct, but they can, you see, choose their own thought, choose their own, the way they want to think, the way they want to act. They can judge for themselves what they want to do. So it's not instinctive, but it is volitional, it's willed action. So you can create your destiny by willing in a way that you want to have. So it's a willed, it's a kind of destiny that you create. You are the creator of your own future, your own destiny by your own action. Not in the case of the dog. It's instinctive. He has to undergo that. Even that luxury is nothing but suffering. Similarly, in the other planes of existence, like the ghosts or the pretas, immense suffering indeed, or the diabolical beings like the asuras and so on. So in the apaya, these dark actions find their results, you see, invariably in the apaya world. So by acting in a certain way, you not only suffer here and now in a dark and evil way, you not only suffer here and now, but these actions also throw you into a world of great suffering from which you can't get out. You have to pay a price for what you have done or said or thought. So this dark action with dark results. And which simply means not only the action and the result, but in a plane of existence. There are the evil, dark planes of existence, suffering and suffering and suffering. And then there are the bright planes of existence like the Devaloka, like the gods, the realms of divine beings, filled with joy and bliss, long life, and very beautiful, pleasant existence. They don't know what suffering is, what affliction is. Theirs is a world of great happiness, joy. But even this world comes to an end. Because action, by its very nature, has a beginning and an end. So when the action itself is impermanent by nature, its result also is bound to be of the same type, namely impermanent. So in one way the bright existence, the Divya Loka, Divya means bright, and you see, luminous world, bright world. The Devas, the divine beings are bright, they are radiant, their bodies are like light, they illuminate wherever they go. So these beings, not only they look bright, but their inner life also is very happy and pleasant. Very bright existence and bright result. They enjoy in that plane. Then there are others who have committed both dark as well as bright actions like human beings. That is why you see in the human world, we have people who enjoy such misery, my goodness. They suffer from misery like the miseries of hellish being, here and now. And human beings who suffer like you see, lives of pretas, ghosts and all that miserable existence. Buddha in one sutta said, there are human beings who are nothing but animals. They undergo the animal existence here and now as human beings. They suffer the sufferings of animal existence or the sufferings of ghostly. There are human beings who are like pretas. They suffer like the preta beings. There are human beings who are like, you see, the demoniac beings. Very cruel, heartless, great suffering indeed. And all the time, power, 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 struggle for power. You can see that among politicians. You can see these people who consciously, deliberately, run these terrorist and other movements. How cruel they are. So, this type of here and now you can see human beings who are like devils. Their existence is demoniac existence. Then there are also human beings who live like the gods, like the divine beings. They are filled with love and compassion, filled with generosity and loving kindness. They not only have, they enjoy these benefits here and now in the human world. They never suffer from any want. They never suffer from the sufferings that lower beings undergo. See, so here, in this plane of existence, you see, the beings enjoy both the results of their evil deeds as well as the results of their good deeds. So the human world therefore is supposed to be a very desirable world where they can evolve spiritually, where they can think on their own, think out their own destiny. They can make their life bright and beautiful here and now by consciously, deliberately acting in a certain way. Even it may be that a human being is born in a very poor family and miserable circumstances. But then, if this person is motivated in with some higher motives and lives a very noble life, undergoes all kinds of suffering in order to purify his life and make his life worthwhile and good for everybody. For the good of the world he or she works. So such a human being here and now, you see, by the conduct of a higher type of conduct, you see, fashions a life which will make an end of all karma, all action. the fourth type. So here you, for instance, a person leads holy life. A person lives a life of a monk or a nun, renounces all the pleasures and all that of worldly existence. So such a person here and now creates a destiny where that person will be free from all karmas, all actions altogether. So the karma will be neither dark nor bright, producing neither dark nor bright results. And this person may develop higher consciousness. He may meditate, first of all, this person practices all the shilas, the Pancha Shila for instance, or even more, and by bringing about ethical purity, purity of actions, such a person will bring about purity of mind, Chitta Vishuddhi. From Shila Vishuddhi, he will live or she will live such a life that constantly it means purification of conduct, purification of mind, purification of life in every possible manner. So such a person does not commit either the dark or the bright type of karma, because the person has developed samadhi, has developed meditation and samadhi, and therewith lokuttara, the super mundane states of consciousness. Lokuttara chitta. By developing lokuttara chitta through vipassana meditation, first of all the person meditates to calm down the mind, samatha meditation. And by calming down the mind attains a state of stability and strength, very powerful strength. With that, mind develops the vipassana meditation, whereby he or she can penetrate into the ultimate nature of everything that exists, into the nature of the mind itself, and penetrates into the ultimate nature means what? Penetrating into the reality of the law of impermanence. Everything in the world is impermanent. When human beings forget that they get involved in actions which are dark, or if they are forgetful of this law of impermanence, though they may do a lot of good deeds, they may have their Pancha Shila, they may meditate also, but with a lot of thought of I and so on, or seeking, for instance, meditate or do punya karma of all kinds to be born in the divine world. So they are doing good deeds, good things, bright karma, but then the aim, the goal is not lokuttara, it is lokiya. So they are born in the divine world, all right, or in the Brahma world, no question about that. But then that world also comes to an end. As I mentioned at the beginning of the talk, that these so-called happy, bright worlds, as a result of bright actions, they are happy, no doubt, but happy and in what sense? In the sense of enjoyment of, let's say, blessings, blissful existence. But then life itself comes to an end there also. So and then they can be born at a lower plane. So no certainty of final release there. But by developing the vipassana meditation, when you penetrate into the true nature of everything in the universe, the nature of impermanence, therefore instability basically unsatisfactory. When you realize that, and you go beyond, you see, the craving for anything of the world, in any plane of existence, whether dark or bright or any, or a combination of both. You seek nothing but the ultimate peace of Nibbana. Once that becomes the goal, then whatever action you do is bound to be something which is not productive of any loka, but lokuttara. When your motivation is Nibbana, spiritual liberation, freedom from all craving and the suffering that craving brings, freedom from every plane of existence and the worldly existence and the suffering that worldly existence brings. With that motivation, once you live and act, that is the fourth type of neither bright nor dark, producing neither bright nor dark results. Because then with vipassana you attain the ultimate truth of Nibbana. The truth of Nibbana by penetrating into the ultimate nature of the world. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Everything is impermanent, therefore everything is unsatisfactory. And it is because everything is interdependent and there is no such thing as a permanent element called Atma and all that. Ego. The non-self nature of everything. That everything is ultimately impersonally functioning. That knowledge or wisdom of impersonal unsubstantiality. When that knowledge appears and the mind undergoes transformation and you become a realized, enlightened being. So with this, today we have discussed about the four types of actions based upon the sutta here and their results. And that dimension of existence where both these two types do not exist, or the combination of that. With this I conclude. May the grace of Bhagavan Buddha surround your lives with wisdom and well-being. May you all be happy and well. Sukhino bhavantu.